Hi everyone, Sarah here, and welcome to episode 16 of the Knitting Forecast. We are starting the episode today with a public service announcement for all UK knitters. Dobby's the Garden Centre is now selling yarn. Please cue the footage. So if you're like me and a good old garden centre is a good time, welcome to midlife. But now a garden centre is an even better time because apparently they sell yarn now. I don't know how long this has been going on for. It's not a lot of yarn, I'll be quite honest, and let's not let it replace our local yarn stores. But it's just an extra reason to have a lovely day out at a garden centre. Now, Dobbies, I think, is nationwide. I feel like I've seen them not just in the Northwest, where I am. Um, so, pop on down if you need a bit of Serdar Snuggly, which I use a fair bit. All my baby knits are usually done in Serdar Snuggly. They had some hayfields, they had Serdar, they had that gorgeous Serdar jewel spun, kind of really big chunky um balls of yarn. They had Rowan, which is a posher end of the yarn lines, I think. Um, so yes, they also actually had patterns. Serdar and Rowan patterns, I think, were there in folders. So good effort. Good effort. I wonder if it'll last. Dobby's is hit and miss, to be honest, at the best of times. So it might just be like a run up to Christmas kind of thing. Who knows? But anyway, thank you for listening to the public service announcement. We will now resume with our normal scheduled show. So, as I said, welcome to episode 16. Get yourselves a brew. I feel like we're going to be here a while. It is half term here in the UK. Kids are off school. I could be disturbed at any moment. I keep looking over there at the door, like, is someone going to come in? Hopefully he's occupied. We've got Super Mario Galaxy on the go, so should be fine. Let's start off with something we haven't really shown or discussed for a while now. Dishcloth Diaries. We're back. Okie dokie. So, shall I just do a very quick rundown of where we're up to? Got a whole pile here. So we have got one pair. We're doing sets of 2 as Christmas presents. They'll be all bundled up. The ends will be sewn in. I'm dreading that job. They'll be all bundled up. I'm thinking a little cardboard band round saying cotton dishcloth, fully washable. It'll be cute. So we've got 1 set, 2 set. Is that it for me sets? Oh, I finished a second one of these the other day. 3 sets. I think this one was the yarn I got at the range, which is another shop here in the UK. And then we've got some odds and ends. Now, someone very kindly gifted me someone I know in real life, though not so I don't need to put like ad or anything. I'm not there yet. Someone I know handed over not quite at full skeins of some cotton yarn. So I've done a dishcloth each, and I just went for just a garter. No pattern at all, to be honest. But I thought these will make, although they don't match, not a bad little pair. And I have got a male that I wanted to gift to, and I thought this might be like a good idea for him. So that is pair number 4. Okay, okay. And then we've got odds and ends. We've got one more mustard. I do have enough yarn for a second. I think this is the peaches and cream, something like that. I've got enough for a second of that. This is the one that I fear might be too soft, but I've got enough for a second anyway. This is a DK Health double. It's almost too nice to wash your dishes with, to be honest. This is the James C. Brett one that I got a while ago, and then we're at this one. This was that lovely cotton cake. I can't think what it is, but I'll put it, if I remember the name, I'll put it up. And it's a DK, and I bought this before I knew what I was doing, and before I knew I needed iron, and I've lost the will. I've lost the will. I'm about 2 or 3 inches into the second, and I just don't think I'm gonna do it. Don't think I want to do it. So this one might live with me, and I will just, churn out another iron one. So anyway, we're doing well on dishcloths. Very well indeed. All the mustard yarn was handed to me from someone else, and this yarn. So thank you for that. Most appreciated. And I'm not having a bad little time doing them. I go through phases of not wanting to touch them. I did one every week when the sewing bee was on, which ended ages ago now, but we have another TV show, and I'm hoping like round the world you'll be able to watch this as well. Now tell me if you have access to Channel 4 shows here. We have Channel 4, what do they call it? 4 on demand. It's like an app for your telly, and it's all free. There's adverts in there, but it's all free. But anyway, Channel 4 is starting a knitting TV show on Sunday, the 2nd, which today is Friday, 31st. Happy Halloween, by the way. Happy Halloween. It's called Game of Wool. Now, I think it's Bake Off style competition, but for knitters, and we haven't had this before in the UK. I think, did Denmark do a version somewhere like that? And it is Tom Daly is the host, I believe, and he is that um diver. He's an Olympic diver here in the UK, and he knits as well. You probably will have seen like footage of him sat by the pool waiting for his turn to dive, and he's knitting like a little something. I think he had his own range of yarn out at some point. I don't think it did very well, but good on him for trying. Anyway, I believe he's the host, and it's knitters from around the UK who do some sort of competition. So we haven't seen it yet. It's going to be on Sunday. I'll be watching. Hopefully everyone else can watch. I feel like everyone around the world can watch the Channel 4 on demand service. Fingers crossed for you. If not, you might be able to watch it slyly on something else, which, I have nothing to do with, so I wouldn't know. But anyway, that starts this Sunday. I will be doing another dishcloth as I'm watching that. It's replacing the sewing bee for me, so I'll be on track for Christmas. Let's get on to the whips. Another little thing that I wanted to show you is this little bag. It's actually a pencil case that I've had my eye on because of the size and the shape. in Tesco's, which is a supermarket here. They do like stationery, they do everything, clothes, stationery, obviously the food. And when it's back to school time, the stationery range takes over half the shop. And I kept seeing this thinking, oh, I love that pink zip, love the colour, but I'm not spending £6. I know this will come down. Well, anyway, these are £1.25 now in Tesco. Perfect size for a sock project, which is what's in here. So I have been using the Luca S yarns, which I picked up at a Modern Yarn in Formby here in Liverpool. Well, I'm not in Liverpool. The shop is in Liverpool. It's only half an hour away from me. And I've been knitting socks out of it for my husband for Christmas. I didn't bring any sock blockers out. We're going to have to make do. But I finished one of the socks and I really, really love it. If you recall, I cast on in this gorgeous lilac colour. And so I only did a cast on and then the rest of the sock in this. Anyway, I did a vanilla sock, gorgeous patterning yarn, and then I just picked up the lilac for a row at the toe, first row decrease, I think, was the lilac yarn again. And I just thought it just adds like do you know what it reminds me of a little bit? With that pop of quite a neon. You know, like 80s arcade carpet. He won't mind me saying that his socks look like a carpet. But like the greys and mixed with a neon, it just gave me such an 80s vibe, and all I could think of was carpets at the arcade. Anyway, I'm on to sock 2 now, and I'm delighted with that. Now, I've changed colour for sock 2. We didn't go lilac. I've somehow gone even brighter and gone pink. He does love pink, my husband, and my little boy wears a lot of pink. We don't believe in blue for a boy, pink for a girl. Just wear what you want. So here we are with the pink. As I cast this on and then started the main colour there, it didn't look quite the same. And I was like, what did I do here that was different? Then I realised and I thought I'll share what I've actually done. Just to give it a really crisp line at the top here. I actually cast on in the colour, in the contrast colour here. And then instead of going straight into knit 2 purl 2, I knit a full round in the main colour. And then started the knit 2 purl 2, and I did that way back when on the first sock. And you know, sometimes I wish I wrote things down, but I don't live that kind of organised life. That stops the purl bumps from showing. So what I'd done wrong is I'd gone straight into the knit 2 purl 2 on the main colour. And I was like, why can I see the pink purl poking through? It just wasn't like as crisp. And then I realised what I'd done. So I just pulled the whole thing out and started again. And it really does give a great line of colour. So I thought I'd share that tip. Always start with a knit row after you cast on if you're doing this. And you wouldn't know that that's what you've done. It doesn't flare out, or it just looks like a perfect rib. So there's a tip for everyone. So I feel like I'm on track with these. Lovely little pair of socks. It's just vanilla, so I can just plod on with this any old time, not really need to refer to a pattern. And that's it. Where was I up to on my Olga sweater last time? Had I done the neck? Well, we've advanced, put it that way. We are 2 sleeves in. 1 sleeve, 2 sleeve, and now it's just the rest of the body to do. I wish I should have tried this on, actually. I will put it on next time. You might have it finished by next time, let's be honest. It's just ploughing through the length now. I love it, absolutely love it. So I have knitted this in King Cole Merino DK. And that whiter colour, it isn't white, it's more of an off-white. has got the most gorgeous flecks of colour in. Hopefully you can see some there. And then the other one is like a jet black, but I cannot wait to wear this. I had given it a soak. After I'd finished the sleeves, I gave it a soak so I could just, test the size out a bit, and I just love it. It's perfect. I think I've knitted this in the 4th size. I've done a weird thing though, and it was an accident, but I don't think it matters too much. When I did a gauge swatch for this, I decided that it was going to be best for me to go up half a needle size. So recommended needles are a 4mm. I went to 4.5 for the main bit of work. I think I've done the recommended 3.5-ish for the neck. But then when it was time to do the sleeves, I was like, right, what are the instructions for the sleeves? And it said, using 4mm needles, pick up X amount of stitches. So I used 4mm needles instead of my 4.5s. Why? I don't know. I don't think it's going to matter too much. I mean, I can tell the difference. The fabric is much denser on the sleeve. It's not as open. So this is the body, and then this is the sleeve. Can't show it. I'm all fingers and thumbs here. It's fine. It's fine. Obviously, there's the slight difference in how narrow the stripes are, but I don't think, unless I'm going to say, hey, look at the difference in the stripe between my sleeve and my body, don't think anyone would ever notice. So I'm ploughing on. I mean, there's no way I'm ripping back sleeves. We're ploughing on through to the body, down the length, and I did the recommended cuff on the sleeve was the ribbing in colour work, but then it was one of those fancy binds off, what's it called? Italian, where you sew it round and round. And now I have only done that once before and I hated it, really hated it. But I thought, you know what, let's just have another go at this. It's in black yarn though, again. I feel like all the fiddly bits I'm trying to do lately are in black. So I have had a good go and I'm quite pleased with how it's gone. Second sleeve went much smoother because I've obviously done the first sleeve. There's 1 or 2 mistakes in it, but that's just the nature, isn't it, of learning as you go with this. I found there's a ton of YouTube tutorials out there on doing the sewn bind off, Italian bind off, tubular. There's so many words, I think they're all the same. But I did do the 2 setup rows before it, which I believe you don't have to do, but just look a little bit neater. So I thought, you know what, let's just do it. Whether I'll do that at the bottom, I'm not sure. It's going to be so many stitches there. I don't know if I can be bothered. But anyway, it really is a lot neater, and you won't be able to see it well because we're in black. But you'll just have to believe me, it does look really neat. I can spot the mistakes. I don't think anyone else would ever have a look close enough and say, oh, I think you've done a purl instead of a knit, whatever. But find which tutorial works for you. I think I went through about 3 or 4, and then one of them worded it slightly different, and I was like, this one's for me. So please, if you feel like, oh, this is so complicated, have another look. Keep searching because there'll be someone who describes it in just the way that clicks with your brain. Like the one I watched, which maybe I'll link below if anyone's interested. I'll put that in there. It wasn't long at all. She described it as like the knit formation and the purl formation, and I was like, oh, I'm getting this now. I've got it. Thank you. So that one worked for me. But anyway, I'm so pleased. This is just so me. So me. Can't wait to wear this. It would have been decent for Halloween. Actually, I could have done a bit of a outfit there. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that bothered about Halloween. I feel like I'm the only I'm the goth in the village who doesn't care for Halloween. I've got a dark soul. I don't care for Halloween. What's wrong with me? I don't know. But I feel like I always pretended to be into it as a teen and I just don't care. And now I'm like, give me the pumpkins, give me the cozy drinks, give me the autumn vibes, but I'm not really into like scary stuff. So controversial, I know. Maybe I shouldn't have shared it. I might get a lot of hate. Who knows? But anyway, Olga Sweater by Petite Knit. King Cole Merino DK. I love it. Love it. And do you know what? I really want to knit another version of this, which is so unlike me, to want to knit something twice. But here we are. I've actually made zero progress on, at least I think I've made zero progress on my Hibernals, my Christmassy Hibernals. I thought I'd just bring them. They are still on my mind. Still love them. I've just been beavering away on other things. This is the Hibernal sock by Summer Lee. As usual, links below. Still a gorgeous pattern. I've just been busy on other things. So speaking of me knitting something twice, being very unusual, I cast on another Sophie scarf. So I'm wearing one today. I love this thing. It's keeping me so cozy. I've I'm just wearing it so much. I wore it yesterday. I wore it for work 2 days in a row. But this one is totally different vibes, totally different. We've gone Christmas. So I'm not that into Halloween, but I'm getting into Christmas. I think Christmas when you've got kids, you're just into it, aren't you? Because they get excited about it. But anyway, here we are. Christmas Sophie scarf on its way. It's gonna be lovely, isn't it? This is using the Christmas sock yarn mini skeins that I got at the Staffordshire Wool gathering a couple of weekends ago, 2 weekends ago. And it's yellow door yarns. And I just love it. It's candy cane, it's elf vibes. I'm not going to go as thick at the back as this one. And I'm going to maybe have a couple of inches shorter because the length of this bowie bit annoys me because sometimes it hits me in the face and I can't bear that. So we'll probably go a few inches shorter. I bought 2 mini skeins of these, so I've got plenty to work on there. Yeah, love it, love it, love it. I have got my yarn in my baby yarn bowl, which is from Sarah, who runs Yellow Door Yarns. Her partner John makes these mini skein yarn bowls. Adorable, adorable. I'll put his shop in the link. I'll link his shop below if you want to treat yourself for Christmas or a good little stocking filler, you know. For the knitter in your life. So I'm aiming to have this finished quite soon. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I was wondering how it would knit up, and I'm so pleased with how it's knitting up. There's still some of this yarn available, so go and get some. So the Sophie scarf is a petite knit pattern. You can kind of use whatever weight you want, whatever size needle you want. I use a 3mm to do the sock yarn one, so that's what I'm doing again. I think next time I would probably do a DK one for like the rest of winter after Christmas time, like a chunkier one. It would keep me really warm. You'd be surprised if you just cover up the top of your ear how much warmer you are in general. Okay, we need more coffee. A couple of podcasts ago, I showed you this gorgeous yarn from 3C's Yarn, which I picked up at the Pop-Up Wool show in the summer. And Mittens is the goal for this yarn. I started my own mittens with no pattern, just thought wing it, and I just wasn't loving them. And I realised I need to just grow up a bit and learn how to knit a thumb. Never knitted a thumb before. So I undid it. I decided to just use a free pattern in case I hated it. So I have found the world's simplest mittens by Tin Can Knits. Ravelry link below. And it's a nice little pattern. It is a nice little pattern. I think I mentioned that that's the one I was going to do in the last time we spoke, and Michaela of A Modern Yarn messaged me actually because she had not long ago knitted the same mittens, and she told me about the fact that the sizes come up quite big. So I went down half a needle size and I've nearly finished my first mitt. What do we think to that? So that I was worried about this bit, this section here, and let me tell you, there's nothing to worry about. Nothing at all. There's no hard bit. Go for it if you need a pair of mittens. Now the pattern is for a full mitt, but I'm gonna stop like here. So I've got fingers free. And I'm not gonna knit a full thumb to the end, that the thumb will be cut off as well. But what a delight this yarn is. How gorgeous is that? And it's so light, it's like cloudy. Yeah, I love it. I also knitted extra length in the cuff. I think it said for 2.5 inches, but I've gone maybe, gosh, nearer 4, 3.5 to 4, because I've got enough yarn to play with, so why not? But much success. I'm really pleased with how this has gone. So I imagine, I don't read ahead in patterns. No. I imagine I'll just be picking up a stitch or two here and picking up this and just, yeah, knitting the round. And I'll just knit for the length I want and then do a few rows of the rib probably. I like the idea of just a rolled edge, but I don't think that's going to be very practical for me. But I'm so pleased that I did this. I feel like a professional. I feel like a grown-up. This pattern actually comes in baby, child, and then 1, 2, 3 adult sizes. So it's for a free pattern that is pretty decent. Very pleased with it. Recommend it so far. Here it is not on my hand. So these are just on, they're just on little safety pin things at the minute because I didn't have any scrap yarn on me. But so nice, the yarn makes it. The yarn makes it. It's a DK weight. They also in the pattern have instructions for 4-ply and an Aran, I believe. So I mean, you can't go wrong. The fact that it's free is wow. I think that's all my whips at the moment. I've kind of got half of one, which I'll show you. If you watched my last video, which was about me going to the yarn show, you will have seen that I bought some mystery bags that I unpacked, that I opened up during the video, and I pulled out the most fabulous 100-gram DK from Unseen Yarns. And my instant reaction to this was, can I pair it with my Siobhan's Crafts DK, which I wanted to knit a Musselburgh out of. I wanted a really chunky double layer Musselburgh. So I thought, let's just give it a go. So I did a little tester, a little sample to see how they knit up together. And look what we've got. Look at that. I love it. So obviously I'm going back and forth here because it's not in the round. So it's 2 rows of each and then alternate every 2 rows. Whereas when I'm knitting a hat in the round, I'm likely to do 1 row of each, do you think? So I think they combine really well. I think it'll make a lovely little hat. So that's what I'm going to do. Not sure when I'm going to cast that on because I feel like I've got quite a few things on the go at the minute. And I've got more cast on plans to chat about yet. But I just wanted to show you how beautifully they did indeed pair up. And I think, yeah, this is on a 4mm. Normally for a hat, a DK hat, I would have gone down to a 3.75, but I think a 4 with my gauge is a little bit looser, which will be good for the double layer. So that's my plan. We're moving on to other chat now. And I'm bringing back into your life the Fishy Sweater. Here we are. Do you remember this baby? Now, I'm not going to say she's being problematic because she's not, but I'm wearing this a lot at the moment and I need your help with something. I'd say that the yarn itself is holding up really well. Haven't really noticed much bobbling. My cat is the thing that's destroying it, to be honest. Anyway, it's the neck. The neck has grown and I don't really know if I love it, this baggy at the neck. Now, I do know that people put elastic in the neck, and I'm thinking, is this the solution here for me? I've never done it before though. So this neck is it's folded over. Oh, this is the Fishy Sweater by Hibernal shop, by the way, links below, as usual. But the neck is knitted and then folded over and sewn down. So we've got like a tube. Am I running the elastic? First of all, what elastic? How thin elastic is it? Is it that one that you can get on a spool? Or do I need to go thicker than that? And am I running it through the tube of the collar here? Or am I going in and out? Am I sewing it in and out of the inside of the collar? Now, I feel like I'm not getting myself across very well. Help me with the neck. I'm going to put elastic in it. I don't know how. I've got some white elastic that is really thin, which I'm thinking would be good, but I just don't really understand the process of how I'm doing it. So if anyone's got any tips, am I winding it in and out? Am I sewing it in and out? Or am I just threading it through and tugging it in? Am I making any sense? If you can help, please help. Most appreciated. Speaking of that yarn, actually, I am already planning the next sweater that I'm going to make, the next jumper. I say both jumper and sweater because here in England, we would never really say like a sweater. It's the American patterns, I think, that make us say sweater. We would call it a jumper, but anyway, there's a very gorgeous pattern that I have shown before called the Cute Sweater. I'll pop up a picture and who it's by because it's gone off the top of my head, but I want to use the same yarn as I used for the Fishy Sweater, which is Drops Air. I have quite a bit left over, so I'm hoping to use up some of those colours. But it is an Aran weight yarn, and the suggested yarn for the sweater is a chunky. So it would be more for a 6mm needle, and really it's a 5 for that Drops Air. Now, I don't want to be doing a load of maths for this. Done this kind of thing where they've used the complete wrong weight for the sweater intended. So if it's suggesting a 6mm needle, but I want to knit it on a 5, would I go up like a size or 2 in the pattern? Say I usually knit a medium, which is probably true. Would I go up to an L or an XL, but just use the 5mm needles? And see, I don't want to do the maths. Would I just be hoping? Will a swatch tell me how this works? I just, not bad at maths. I just can't be bothered trying to figure this out. I don't want the faff of it. It'll put me off. It'll put me off doing it if I'm being honest. So if anyone's got any tips, I do want to buy the yarn soon, you see, because I know my Olga sweater won't take much longer. And because that's been quite a plain one, I'll probably be up for more of a challenge with colour work. So that's the plan, and I think it's so Animal Crossing, it's so me. I'm really gonna love it. So that's definitely what I want to make. I just haven't got chunky yarn to do it in, and I don't want to be buying it if I've got lots of the drop sale left over. So yes, answers on a postcard, please. So I think that's everything we've got to discuss. I feel like I've got a lot of whips going on at the moment, but it's because Christmas is coming up and some of it is gift knitting, and obviously that makes me just want to knit for myself. So everyone enjoy your Halloween weekend. I'm not doing anything for the occasion, but I hope you are. Go and have some fun and stay safe, everybody. Bye for now.